Hello, my name is Michael Bonet Jr., and as you can see, I am a black man. And I lived in Taiwan for over a year. And when I was in Taiwan, I was treated the exact same way as everybody else. When it came to the amazing technology, the great food, the outstanding healthcare, and the affordable lifestyle, all of those things were icing on the cake. The fact of the matter is this: when I was in Taiwan, I was treated the same way as everybody else. I went to Taiwan twice, once for my birthday and once to work. The first time that I went to Taiwan for my birthday, I was in a diner and I saw a Taiwanese business professional, and I just smiled and I said, "Ni hao." Immediately, she invited me to have lunch with her and her work colleagues. And another Taiwanese business professional who was eating in the booth next to them joined us so that he could translate for us. We chatted for at least 40 minutes, if not an hour. And it was just a great, fun afternoon. When I went to a Taiwanese church, I met a Taiwanese Christian man who I just clicked with right away. We stayed in touch after I came back to work. He invited me to celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival with his family. He invited me out with his friends who were of all cultures and backgrounds. And whenever I needed something, he was always there for me. Whenever I needed advice, I could call him. And I didn't do anything spectacular. He was just a nice, friendly guy. And that was the standard for the way I was treated in Taiwan. People were friendly and kind just because it was who they were. I didn't do anything special to deserve this. And I didn't have anything that they really wanted. They were just hospitable and kind. When I worked at a Taiwanese English as a second language school, my boss and his family treated us the exact same way. Me and all of my work colleagues. I was the black teacher. I had white work colleagues, and I had Taiwanese work colleagues, and my boss and his family treated us all the same. No one was given preferential treatment. No one was discriminated against. All of us were treated as equals. And to this day, I am grateful for that. Outside of work, I would often hang out with my friends and acquaintances to play Catan, go to Bible studies, hang out in coffee shops, eat lunch, and we also went to a barbecue. All of these gatherings were multi-racial. There were Taiwanese people there. They would usually be the hosts, and then white people, black people, and others. Everyone was represented, and race just never came up. We never thought about it. It was just expected that in Taiwanese culture, you treated people as equals. And I always had a great time. This extended to my experience when I was invited to a local torch club by one of my friends. Again, our Taiwanese hosts treated everyone the same, no matter what culture they came from, and multiple cultures were represented. Black, white, Middle Eastern, multiple. And again, no one got preferential treatment. No one was discriminated against. We were all treated the same. I went back to this torch club several times, and I was always treated with kindness. Everyone was hospitable. They would try to share Taiwanese culture with me, and they encouraged me to speak Mandarin Chinese. And whenever I did speak Mandarin Chinese, they were kind enough to forgive the multitude of errors which I made. And of course, I cannot forget my Taiwanese mother. Again, I didn't do anything special to deserve this. I was just wandering around the neighborhood looking for a place to eat. But I went into her restaurant. She would always greet me with a huge smile, and she would introduce me to other people in the neighborhood, other regular customers. She'd give me extra food. And in particular, she would let me eat with her family, and her staff at their table. And it was an honor and a privilege. I was just Michael Boney Jr. I was Michael, her son, basically. And I am grateful for that to this day. Also, my Taiwanese students were spectacular. Cross-culturally, all of my students have been great. All of my students have treated me as though I were their father. And I see all of my students as though they were my own flesh and blood sons and daughters. At the same time, my Taiwanese students were very unique when it came to creativity and research. I had students who were in first and second grade who could make puns and plays on words in English that would just blow me away. And I was always proud to give them rewards for it. I had Taiwanese students who knew the material so well that they could teach it themselves. And they would be really, really young. We're talking first, second grade. And one thing which I really liked about my Taiwanese students is they cared about right and wrong. If they were wrong, they would admit it and they would say that they were sorry. If they were right, they would hold their ground. And they treated their classmates the same way. If their classmates were wrong, they would correct them and made sure that they would behave. If their classmates were right, they would defend them. And this was especially the case with my 3 best students. Their mother chose me to be their private teacher. And just like my other students, they were creative and they would go above and beyond when it came to research. At the same time, what really mattered to them was the morality of the things that they saw. They cared about the difference between loyalty and treachery. They cared about the difference between bravery and cowardice. And when I taught them, they weren't just interested in learning English. They were also interested in examining film and literature and other media and seeing what is the right way to handle this kind of situation. Not what is the way which is the most convenient for me, but what is the absolute right way, the most ethical way, the most virtuous way. For this reason, these 3 students became more to me than just my students. These 3 students, they became my younger sister and my younger brothers. And I miss them to this day. I could spend days talking about how great my experience in Taiwan was. But the most important thing is this. When I was in Taiwan, the Taiwanese people looked at me. They did not see a black man. They did not see a foreigner. They only saw me. They only saw Michael Bonet Jr. And when they saw me, they loved me, they protected me, they cared for me, they supported me. And they would do this even if they had nothing to gain for themselves. For this reason, I am proud to proclaim this. I love Taiwan.